last night when you were speaking about the economy, you talked about it, that there's 3 different aspects of it.
Yeah, I've identified 3 aspects of the economy. There's the productive economy. And that can either be commercial or non-commercial. That's things like schools and roads and places where they make food and hospitals. That's all good stuff. It's all hopefully working towards human well-being, because that's what the economy should be all about. And you've got that's one sector of the economy if you imagine it as a pie graph. Then you've got another sector of the economy which is the destructive economy. Now, we still indulge in wars. For example, the military expenditure back a few years ago, the total world military expenditure was about $1.1 trillion. It's a huge amount of money that's just wasted. Now, besides that, you've got to also consider the damage to human infrastructure all over the world, damage to physical infrastructure, and as well as damage to sort of social infrastructure. So we can't. It's very hard to actually to quantify what that is. But if you look closer, if you look in New Zealand, we've got a lot of crime. There's a cost to crime. There's a cost to incarcerating people. There are costs associated with greed, all sorts of costs, which I sort of categorise as a destructive economy. And then you've got a third sort of category, which is perhaps not so inherently bad, but it's the indulgent economy, which is where we're basically just spending money on stuff. We're encouraged to consume, but I would estimate that the productive economy is probably less than sort of half of what we actually have. Half of the wealth we create, we spend on productive things. The rest we sort of really blow, and we can't afford to do that. It's said that 2% of the world's population own half of the world's wealth. And so while there's still poverty in the world, we know that our economic system just isn't working. It just isn't delivering the goods.
And so inherent to that is this notion that economic prosperity must be fueled by a sense of justice in terms of ownership, and which is a very spiritual principle.
Yes.
This notion that we really are all in this together.
Yes, and that's where Baha'u'llah's teachings are so powerful, because what Baha'u'llah is saying is that the corrosion of ungodliness is eating away at the vitals of human society. So what we've done, and I think if you look at things in economic terms, we've got to the point as in human society where we sort of see ourselves as the grown-ups that sort of don't need that stuff anymore. We don't need religion anymore, and we've sort of tossed that out, and we've come up with our own economic sort of prescriptions for the world, and they're not working. As Baha'is, we believe that over time, over millennia, God has sent us messages. For the Hindu, it's Krishna. There's Moses. There's Muhammad. There's Zoroaster, Jesus Christ, and they've come to us to really teach us how to live. We got to the point where we felt that we were now grown-ups and we didn't need God anymore. So then a bunch of man-made ideologies came along. So what we've been subjected to is basically a godless ideology that hasn't worked. Some of the major disasters of the 20th century can be pinned back clearly to those man-made ideologies. They haven't worked. They haven't worked for the economy. They haven't worked for the planet.